Come with me to Montego Bay, Jamaica. This trip is a weekend trip with some good friends, and the flight was just so beautiful. I had no idea the water would be so clear and blue, and the airport landing is right on the ocean. Look at this. It only took 2 minutes to be from the ocean to the landing gear. Beautiful,
Hi, welcome to
beautiful.
Montego Bay.
We
We're the
get
local
here
time at
and we use a
2:41
service
p.m.
by Mobe where they meet you and they take you through the process.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. This will be me.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. Miss Lacadia, I'll be assisting you today, okay?
Okay.
Alright, can I see your passports, please?
Okay. Passports first. Oh, you have my passport. Okay. He has my passport.
As a part of the service, you can see she has validated our passports. So this is the first part. And now we will walk with our personal escort. Each person in our group have their own personal escort. She's going to take us through the customs, through the immigration process
So now we scan
before
the
we get our luggage.
passport.
Here is the machine where you scan your passport. This is where you scan your passport to come off the plane from the US and go into Jamaica. Now she does everything for you. You see my husband, he's there and he's getting his done and it scans. And the process was so smooth that it's amazing. This service through Mobay is something that I highly recommend. It really streamlines the
Okay,
whole
so the first
process of
step
getting through
is
the
to
airport.
scan the
Now we're
passport,
going to
and
continue
then
to go
part
through
two
customs.
is
That
we
was just
go
part one.
to get
And
our
then after we get through
bags.
customs with our personal escort, we'll go and we'll pick up our luggage.
Very
Because
smooth
she's with
process
us
so
and because
far.
we've already scanned, we're going through a
Let's wait for
line that
her.
is expedited. So this is like an expedited line. We did not have to stand in any lines. We were able to be in and out of the airport
Okay, so now you're going to
in
stand on
no
the
time
footprint
at
and
all
look into the camera.
using this
Stand on
particular
the
service.
footprint
The
and look into
service
the
was
camera.
not that expensive either. The service was maybe an extra $100 on top of what we already paid. And we also had access to the lounge where we can go in and the air conditioner. We had snacks and we had waters, and it was just very, very, very nice. And as you can see, our escort is still in front of us, and she's with us every step of the way. Even up until it's time for us to get our luggage, she's there with us. If we need any help, she directs us and she guides
I
us.
think we're going to
Now,
number
I
two.
was at Montego Bay Airport maybe 10, 15 years ago, and I had a totally different experience than this. I did not have the escort or did I have the service? I don't even know if it existed back then. Maybe it did, and I just was not aware. But as you can see, the airport is very clean. The airport is very up to date. There's some areas that are still under construction, and there were some areas that were still
Great.
under
Our stuff is super
renovation. But
heavy.
for the most part, the experience was
And they'll
very
put them in the,
pleasant. So
I guess in the
now
booth or
we are
whatever. Oh,
waiting
okay.
for
All
the
right.
bus to
And then
carry
untie
us
me.
to the
But I can keep something with you.
Sandals
You're not going to check your
Resort.
laptop, right?
We're staying at
I
the
don't want them to check
Sandals
everything.
Resort in
They're going to
White
take it
House,
with them,
Jamaica.
the
It's
bag,
called the
or I get to
South
keep the
Coast. So it's the
bags.
Sandals South Coast. And again, we're with a
They're going to
group
keep them for you until
of
you're ready
about
to
10
go.
couples.
Oh, okay.
And
Just until
this
I'm ready to go home.
service
Okay,
with
so I don't have to worry about
Mobay
my
not
laptop. I
only
know if I
does it
get
come
And
anything.
it's
with
safe,
the
so.
customs and
And then I'm going in the
immigration
lounge, and then
support
when the
and
bus comes,
assistance, but
I'm going to have
also
access to my
it helps you
bags.
get your
Okay.
bags and get out to the
Say it again?
front, as you'll
You
see
ain't going to
shortly,
where?
where you wait
Oh,
for
okay.
your
Okay. You ain't gonna go in the lounge?
bus or vehicle to pick you up.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
we have all of our luggage.
So
The
when you
guy in the back in the
Oh, okay.
red,
Ooh,
he's
ooh, ooh.
actually
Okay, I hear
with
you.
Bay, and he's with the bus service that's going to be taking us.
Okay.
And you see the young lady is still there as well. So she's still there as our assistant.
Yeah,
And
I'm good.
each
I'm good. Yeah, I can
person
wait.
in our
Yeah.
group, each couple in our group has their own personal person that kind of guides them and leads them throughout the whole process. And it just streamlines everything. So now our
It
luggage,
looks
they're
like
tagging the luggage now. And
is
they're
it
tagging the luggage because they're going to put the
VIP,
luggage
VIP.
on the van for us when we go to the sandals. So when we get off of the van, we don't have anything to worry
Sandals
about.
VIP
Our
service.
luggage
Make
has
sure
our
that
names
while
on
your
it,
bus comes to take you.
and
Way
it
more
was just a very,
manageable
very
this way.
smooth,
But let
smooth
me.
process.
First of
You can
all,
see
got air
there's some
conditioning.
people in the
If the
airport, and
she said they just got air
they
conditioning.
don't seem to be moving through the airport as smoothly
Four
as
months
we were
ago, they just got
moving.
air
But
conditioning.
with this service, I definitely guarantee that that you do this. Now we're outside of the airport, and it's so festive out here. It is warm. I will say it's very hot, and I have several fans with me. I have a neck fan and all kind of fan blowers, but all the vans are out there. So as soon as we got to the airport, our car was there waiting for us. So the van is there. That's our van, the blue van. And as you know, the
Okay, I'll
luggage
take
is
some of my
ready. You can
stuff.
see the luggage there. And they're starting to put the luggage on the van so we can be, so we can be on our way. The process from, I'm not at all, speeding up the video or anything. This is how smooth this process was. Now we're on the bus. As you can see, I have a makeshift little cooler, cleavage cooler. That's a cup of ice. So if you're ever too hot and you need like something really, really quick to cool you off, I have my cup of ice, and I just wanted to stay cool because I did not know what to expect. We're about to drive for 2 hours. Now, that's one thing. When we got to Jamaica, it was like rush hour. So we're on the van, and we're going to drive for actually 2 hours to get to the hotel. But it's a very nice drive. And as you can see, we're driving right next to the ocean. The ocean is just 10 feet away from where we are. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful scene, and the mountains are just beautiful. So even though it's 2 hours, if you're prepared, be prepared, meaning, and look at the cruise ships. So you can see the port. We passed the port where the cruise ships come in at. So we definitely enjoyed that view. Just be prepared, meaning have enough water with you. Make sure you have on cool, cool clothing. Um, the bus can sometimes swerve a little bit. So if you're a person who gets seasick or motion sickness, you may want to consider having some Dramamine with you. I had some with me just in case anybody needed it, but no one needed it. This is interesting as you drive because it's a 2 hour drive. Now you're driving through the towns and you're seeing all of the infrastructure. And the infrastructure, it was a mix. It's a mix of buildings that definitely need renovating and definitely are very underdeveloped. But then there were some buildings that was like this area here definitely needs upgrading. But there were some buildings that were very developed and some areas that were very developed. But just going through and looking at the culture and the side of the street, we were driving on the opposite side of the street that we drive on in US, and seeing the people and how they operate in their everyday lives was very, very interesting. We made a pit stop. It's a 2 hour drive, and if you have to use the restroom, this is through the service. They do have places where you can stop and you can use the restroom. But as you can see, these people here, they're going about their daily lives. And it was a time where school was getting out. So on our drive, we passed a lot of schools, we passed a lot of little grocery stores, we passed a lot of little side businesses, restaurants, etc. So the experience in the scenery and going through and seeing how the people live was very interesting. Here we are. Look at this. This is gorgeous. This is the Sandals. And the food is delicious. The property, we were in one of the newer buildings. The property, the entertainment, the nightlife. I just can't talk about the beauty of this place. It just reminds you of an old, large, I want to say plantation, but I want to say it in a more positive way because the grounds are just gorgeous. And the I did spa treatments and I loved it. I did a pedicure, I did a body scrub, but just walking and looking at the greenery and looking at the property was just so refreshing and so inviting. And this trip was very reasonable. We actually got this trip for 3 days. We left on a Thursday. This is the spa. This is the Red Lane Spa. This is where I went and I had my treatments. I had a, as I said, I had a pedicure, and then I actually went into the spa and I had a scrub, a body scrub, which I loved. And it was so non commercial. It just felt like I was on an island and I had my own personal. You see the guy at the top working on the grounds. The interesting thing is the property has so much greenery and it's so beautiful that it's people working all day, every day, keeping the grounds up because it's so big and it's so much to manage. So the Red Lane Spa, once you go inside, it is like a whole nother world on the other side. They had some great products. In fact, I ended up buying one of the lotions that you spray on that I just absolutely loved. But if you're ever at South Coast, look at the water there. They had the detox water, and these are the buildings that are on the property. They're absolutely gorgeous. We happen to have stayed in one of the newer buildings. I believe it was called the French Village. No, we stayed in the Italian Village. So there was the Dutch Village, the French Village, and the Italian Village. And we were in the Italian Village, which is the newer building. But there are winding pathways as you walk. And just look at the greenery. Unbelievable. And if you look far out, you'll actually see mountains covered in greenery as well. And you see what I was saying? You see the guy walking with the blower. It's just like ongoing people, gardeners, and people cutting trees, and people still like painting, or fixing things because the property, look at the mountain in the background. The property is just so, look at that mountain. I just can't stop talking about that. The property is just so beautiful. Excuse me. The property is just so beautiful that they have to have staff 24/7. Staff 24/7 to keep the property up. Those are called butler suites. So those little suites over there, it comes with a butler 24 hours a day. And I believe that suite is, I think they said $5,000 a night, if I'm not mistaken. $5,000 a night. But we stayed really close to that. Our building was kind of right next to the butler suites. But can you see the views of this resort? The views are phenomenal. And as I was saying, our rate was about, this is our building coming up on the left. Our rate was about, let me make sure. I believe it was $1,750, and that's for two people. I don't know if I said this, but this is an all-inclusive resort. So everything is included, and as well as there is a bar in your room with premium alcohol that's also included. There are restaurants. There are 5 restaurants on the property. And you can eat at those restaurants anytime you want. And you can order room service anytime you want. So it's just so much bang for your buck. It's so much bang for your buck. You also can take classes. You can. They have free activities every night. You can go out in the boat. You can go canoeing, and all of those things are inclusive and a part of your actual fee. So there's so much to do, and look at the greenery and the chests on the ground, and that's our building right there on the left as well. Again, these are the Butler villas. They all have a private pool. So this walkway is going to lead to the one of the open pools that is right by the ocean, and you're going to see shortly that the rooms, there are a set of rooms, and we actually upgraded to one of those rooms where they have the swim up pool. So that was the pool. But you see these rooms here? That's one of those is our room. So actually, you come out on your balcony, and it is just so beautiful because it has the tub on the balcony, and it has the patio area, and it has your own private swim up pool that goes all the way around the building. So that was a real treat. And when we saw that, we just went to the front desk and asked for an upgrade. And the upgrade was only $90, which is crazy. So we only paid $90 to get that room from the room that we previously had. This is the beach area that actually was the view right outside of our room. It was very, very nice. There was a little bit of construction to the right, but nothing too crazy. If you can see in the far right, they have the villas that are actually over the water, which was a pleasant surprise. I actually didn't know that that was was in Jamaica. I thought that that was actually only in certain parts of the Caribbean, maybe Turks, but I never knew that was in Jamaica. So this is the pool. As you can see, people are relaxing. The pool actually has the swim up bar. And this is you see the swim up bar, so people are like floating, they're getting their drinks. This is me in my pool that's right outside of my room, actually. It doesn't get more convenient than that because remember, you're still in the Caribbean, so the weather is warm. So it was a nice touch to be able to come right out my patio from my bedroom. I have the view of the ocean, and I could just jump in the pool and I could cool off. So I don't think it doesn't get much better than that. I had some neighbors next door on both sides, but they were also out in the pool and just kind of having a really, really, really good time. And nothing wrong with getting in the pool and just kind of cooling off when you actually need to. Something very interesting occurred though while I was there. So we ordered room service. So if you can see this, and as the lady was bringing the room service, she saw me in the pool. She knew that was the back of my room. So she actually asked if she could hand me the food while I was in the pool. A part of me was like, okay, this is weird. What if I drop the food in the water? I never had to take food across in a swimming pool before. But then there was another side of me saying, hey, why not? Just have a good time. Just flow with it. So as you can see, this is me walking in the pool, holding my tray of food. This is 2 plates. This is my food. This is my husband's food. But whatever, you only do it once. So it was just a very, very nice, interesting, different experience. So I'm thinking I want to. It feels so good to me. You have no idea how it feels to my body. And I was like frowned up because the sun was in my face. I don't want to be proud. As you can see in this photo, the sun is beginning to set, and it's just a beautiful sunset. I wanted to capture that. And this is from my patio, but you can see off the ocean the reflection of the sun setting, and just very beautiful scenery. I also wanted to capture the patio from this angle so you can see just how alluring this is. So you see the tub on the balcony, and I have the chairs, and that's a float that's in the chair. And look, just so beautiful. You see, I'm running a bath, and it has the bubble bath, and it has the curtains that you can make private, of course, but you can actually have a bath right there on your patio, and then you can jump in the pool if you want. So that was just such a nice touch. And again, this room was only a $100 upgrade from what we already had paid, which was $300. And this is our candlelight dinner that we had. And remember, I said there were several couples, so we had candlelight dinner. And now this was additional. We paid an additional $200 for this dinner. It was so good. I had lamb chops. There were some people who had fish. We had surf and turf. Just delicious. So if you have not considered doing this, Sandals South Coast in Montego Bay, Jamaica. You have to check it out, and you have to use the Mobay Lounge. The Mobay Lounge. Check the description for more information so that you can get the quick pass through customs. Talk to you later.